Hello, and welcome to today's episode. Today, we will discuss the medieval Book of Hours. A Book of Hours was a sign of wealth in the medieval ages. Originally developed in the 14th century, these books carried hourly prayers and monthly calendars. To keep these books close was to keep life organized and dedicated to Christianity. Not everyone could afford this symbol of high status, so these were usually reserved for those well off. For instance, the book makes an appearance in the Book of Marjorie Kemp in Chapter 9. She was reading from a book when a piece of the church's roof fell on her back. Kemp came from a wealthy family in King's Lynn around 1300. The timeline and her level of wealth imply that her book was very likely a Book of Hours. Simon Binning illustrated our book in Bruges, or present-day Belgium, around 1530. It is unknown who this book was created for, though hints throughout allude to the answer. These books began with a written overview of each month, as well as an image of the monthly labors for the year. The labor cycle includes everything that needs to be done to continue the livelihood of the community. These tasks are similar in every Book of Hours, though the images are unique as most of them were custom-made. Older books did not show the relationship between workers and their bosses, to seem as though they were only doing these labors for their prosperity. However, our book today does show some orders being given and received. Jingles were created to remember the labors of each month. Here is a bit of one now. By this fire I warm my hands, and with my spade I delve my lands. Here I set my thing to spring, and here I hear the fowless sing. I am as light as bird and bow, and I weed my corn well I know. With my scythe my meat I maw, and here I shear my corn full low. With my flail I earn my bread, and here I sow my wheat so reed. At Martin's Mass I kill my swine, and at Christmas I drink red wine. These jingles are merely guidelines, for as far as these books reach, there was no possibility of one labor always matching with one month. The appearance of the land aids our assumption of who the owner of this book may have been. The land depicted in this book was likely a woodland area, though the trees are scarce at this time of production. The more the Middle Ages progressed, the association between lordship and woodland grew. A growing population led to the need for more farmland, so forests were cut down. This process is depicted in March, where we can see a peasant man cutting down a tree while being overseen by noblemen. What woodland remained was in the ownership of the wealthy, and custom-made books of hours often represented their owners. We can conclude that this book likely belonged to a nobleman. Illusion is a refuge for everyone, not just for royal dukes. It softens life's cruelties and smooths the sharp edges. The calendar cycle offers a sustaining image of pattern, order, and attainable achievement to counter the confusions and disappointments of real life in the real world. The scenes of the calendar are separated from the greater significance of life. Hardships are not depicted, so to use these books as unbiased sources to understand daily life in the Middle Ages would be incorrect. Winters are not so harsh as to kill. There is no over or underabundance of food in any harvest, and no peasant uprisings or mistreatment. As these books were carried daily, there may have been some worry of manifesting negativity. Calendar art assures the viewer that nothing bad will happen, and gives a sense of comfort from knowing that the positivity from this year's images will repeat the next.